First a poem. Am I 6? Are you 2? I know the hole that pulls you down. It's the hole I've been around. It's a hole where there is no sound, darker than the underground. I know the light that pulls you up. It's a light to fill the cup. It's a light that shows the luck. We eat, we sleep, we drink, we fuck. The only good thing to come out of slavery is the blues. We already have the blues, so let us forget slavery. Don't believe. There is much talk about heaven and hell and who gets to go where and who gets to send who where and all this sort of fantasy thing for the last few thousand years, and nobody has stopped to question whether or not this is all madly insane, which it is. And let's first of all figure out what is heaven and what is hell. And from what I can figure out, heaven is a nice place to be, and hell ain't, which makes it fairly simple. And if we put that into realistic terms, well, I think you would say heaven could be the heavens, and hell is everywhere where it ain't nice. For example, if we travel under the earth where the molten lava is, that would be hot as hell. Or if we flew into the sun, that would be hot as hell. And if we stood on the moon in our underwear, that would be either hot as hell or cold as hell, depending if it wasn't in the sun or in the shade. But either you would freeze to death or burn to death really quickly. So most places actually in all of the heavens would be considered hell for creatures that can only survive in an environment where there is air and water and enough pressure, but not too much pressure, enough temperature, but not too much temperature. A place like Earth, or a spaceship that's made to be like Earth. So the only place you're going to really get life anywhere in all of heaven, which is mostly just hell, is on a place where you could probably define it as paradise. I mean, what is paradise? Paradise is the concept of a Garden Eden, and even the Islamic religion, it's always the garden with the river going through and plants and whatnot. And it's our picture of paradise because it is. Because you can live there, you can eat from the trees and from the bushes. And of course, we've lost even that because all of that has been put behind fences, and then the owners have come along and said, all of what there is, we own it. And all you people who aren't owners, so the 99.8% of us, we are the workers, and we can work for the owners, and the owners will give us things like water and bread. Now we could ask the question, and it's an age-old question, because it would be the same story we even read in many of the books that we call holy. For instance, the story about the 7 years of famine in Egypt, where through this famine all the land was seized from all the what do you call them, common folk, and all was owned then by the pharaoh, and everybody who wanted to eat could work on the farms that belonged to the pharaoh. And I think they had 20%. I mean, we get to pay in Germany 50 or 60% tax, and that's the way it is in a lot of places. I mean, if the country works, you can almost put up with it. But what was the point going to be? Oh no. Oh, the owners. Anyhow, the owners think that they own everything, and as long as we play the game where we say yes, they do own everything, they do own everything. But it's not really true. It's a game that we're playing, the monkey game that says, okay, this belongs to me, and I can prove it because I have a piece of paper that says so. But one day the wind will blow and the piece of paper will land in the ocean and it will get slowly dissolved and it will go away, and the people that said they own the land, they'll all be dead, and someone else will come along and they'll write another piece of paper that says, this land belongs to me. And that'll probably keep going on until we finally get to the point where we realize, well, what is this capitalistic ownership thing all about? And can we do something maybe a little more sensible? Now, does this make me a communist? I don't know. Communism doesn't seem to work either. So what are we going to do? I don't know. Is that part of the question? Well, I think the point is we want to make the owners accountable. We've all seen this ridiculous scene lately where the banks are crashing, so the taxpayer gets to pay the bill. And this is a tendency which has been going on and on for generation after generation, and it's a game that's being played by the owners to make everything theirs. And I don't see how they can justify having the taxpayer pay the debts that they blew up out of thin air over nothing. I mean, the money wasn't real in the first place, and now the debt's being paid to the Federal Reserve Bank. That sounds like a bloody takeover to me. Anyway, I'm really confused about the whole world right now, and I get the feeling that everybody's sort of, instead of trying to wake up, they're trying to grab a religion and wait for God to take them to Never Never Land. It sounds like a bad soap opera, and I was wondering maybe if there's any sanity left on this planet. Was that it? Well, let's wrap it up. It's not a secret that it was an inside job that the Twin Towers came down because they wanted to make some big money on it, and they wanted to start a war on it, which is big money as well. And wasn't the topic we're talking about. But the thing is, people, you have to wake up to the obvious lies that they're selling you, and we've got to change it. We have to stop being mad consumer apes, and we have to stop being so dumb, and we have to be so less gullible and question everything, and especially question your government, because they're taking all the power of the people they're supposedly representing. And in the case of the US of A, you've made yourself into a country that people don't like anymore, whereas 50 years ago it was a country everybody loved. So I think it can be turned around. I think people want to like the States, but people also want to like Russia, and people also want to like China. So let's try to figure out something completely different than this war game. I think it would be interesting to do Save the World game. We need to do it right now. A species is disappearing every day or every few hours, and we'll go with them. I mean, you can't wipe out everything and then expect that we're going to live. We might end up being downloaded on machines, but that's just slavery. So I need some more inspiration. So if anybody's got something inspiring to say, make sure you say it. And remember, Islam is bullshit, just like Judaism is, Christianity. Hinduism is sort of funny, and Buddhism is sort of, well, it's bogus as well. But anyhow, let's try to put things in perspective, and I'm going to come back and be really inspired for the next one I talk about something really important, like the solution or something.